What's up, guys? It's me, Zealand, and here today I'm talking about college football. So today I'm going to look at the top 25, the AP poll that just came out 5 minutes ago, and then look at the games this week of the last 5 teams and how they did, box scores and stuff like that, and I'll read through the whole AP poll. So we're going to start with that. So, this makes me so happy. So, Georgia's number 1. They're 7-0. Then we have Cincinnati. They're 6-0. They're in second. Then in third, Oklahoma is 7-0. Then Alabama is 4th. They're 6-1. That's just good. Just to see Alabama not be 1 for once is so good. I mean, I know they weren't, obviously, last week. I think they were 5th or 6th then. But I feel like when they lost to Texas A&M, Texas A&M was unranked, right? I don't know that much about college football, but I do know a little bit. I'm a Bruin UCLA fan. So if you lose to an unranked team as Alabama, I don't think you should be in the top 6 that week. I think they were 5th or 6th. I think they probably should have been 10th last week, but now they're 4. And then in 5th we have Ohio State. They're 5-1. Michigan, 6-0 in 6th. And I mean Michigan like the Wolverines. And then 7, we have Penn State. They're 5-1. 8, Oklahoma State. They're 6-0. And then we have number 9, Michigan State. They're 7-0. And rounding out the top 10, we have Oregon, 5-1. So that's the top 10. And then after that, we'll go down. We have Iowa 6-1 at 11, Ole Miss 5-1 at 12, Notre Dame is 5-1, they're 13, Coastal Carolina 6-0, they're 14, and then Kentucky is 6-1, they're number 15, and then after that we have Wake Forest 6-0, 16, number 17 is Texas A&M, who beat Alabama, they're 5-2, then we have North Carolina State 5-1, they're at 18. Then we go Auburn, 5-2, they're 19. Baylor 6-1, 20. SMU 6-0, 21. San Diego State 6-0, 22. Pittsburgh 5-1, 23. UT San Antonio 7-0 at 24. And then Purdue is 4-2, and they're at that last spot, 25. So interesting. BYU got knocked out. I'm pretty sure they were in the top 15, right, last time. Clemson not being in the top 25 is so weird to see for me. I like Clemson. I mean, I think they're a cool college, and I always rooted for them against Alabama. So that's just so crazy to not see them in. And then other people who received votes was Utah, Arkansas, BYU, Air Force, Iowa State, Louisiana, Lafayette, I think that's how you say it, Arizona State, Florida, Texas, my very own UCLA got 4 votes, Houston, LSU, and Virginia. Seeing LSU get less votes than UCLA is also really funny to see. I feel like UCLA is 5-2. I feel like we should be ranked soon. I can't remember who fully played. I mean, I know we beat LSU, whatever, but I definitely think soon we should be ranked. So that was the top 25. So now I'm going to go over the games for this past week for that top 5, which was, again, Georgia, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ohio State. So first with Georgia, they beat number 11 Kentucky 30-13. The box score on that, let's see. Sorry, I'm not showing any of it. I'm looking at my computer. Right now, my current editing software, I am refunding because I did not like it. So I'm having a friend edit my videos, and we'll see if he puts whatever in. But for now, you're just going to see me looking to the side at my screen where I have all this stuff open. So Georgia, Stetson Bennett. Okay, so I really probably started watching college football the last 3 years, and So I knew, of course, all the guys like Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields and all the guys who now are in the NFL. So now I don't really know a lot of these guys in college. Now all those stars are out. Like I knew Devonta Smith. I can't remember what it is. Jalen Waddle, whatever. I just know UCLA's players. But we have, so the QB for Georgia, Stetson Bennett, 14 for 20, 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. Average throw at 12.5 yards per play. No interceptions. That was a really good game for him. And then that was, I guess, vital for Georgia to stay in number 1, staying 7-0, and now Kentucky is 6-1, and like I said, I think Kentucky is now, they're number 15. So then on the rushing side for Georgia, James Cook, 6 carries, 51 yards. Zamir White, 12 carries, 46 yards, a touchdown. And then on the receiving end, we have Brock Bowers, 5 receptions, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then the second best there was Adonai Mitchell. Sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. 3 receptions, 43 yards, no touchdowns. So Georgia, a good game. And then we go over to Kentucky. They have Will Levis, 32 catches for 42 attempts, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he did a good too. He actually got a better QB rating than Stetson Bennett. He got 85.4 and Bennett got 74.4. Kentucky's rushing, they had, I don't really want to pronounce this, so I'm just going to say his last name, Smoke, had 5 carries, 14 yards. Then we have McClain. That's also his last name. He had 4 carries, 12 yards. The quarterback, Will Levis, had 10 carries. So it looks like he had the most carries on the team. And 12 yards. So they didn't get any rushing touchdowns. And finally on the receiving end, I want to say Wandale Robinson. 12 receptions, 39 yards, a touchdown. And then the other touchdown came from Justin Rigg. 4 receptions, 24 yards. So, and it looks like Georgia had 2 fumbles. The quarterback, Bennett, fumbled 1 time, and I can't tell I don't know who that is, but they got 2 fumbles, and Kentucky also had a fumble, which it does not say where from. But Georgia wins to go to 7-0. They're 5-0 in their conference. Kentucky 6-1, 4-1 in the conference. Georgia takes that win and they stay at number 1. Then next at number 2, Cincinnati. And their game, just let me pull it up. Okay, they played UCF. Computer glitching out, sorry. Okay, so they played UCF, which is Central Florida, I'm pretty sure. So Cincinnati, they win 56-21 against them. Really good game, I guess, from Cincinnati. So then we'll look at the box score. Okay, so Desmond Ritter, the Cincinnati Bearcats quarterback, went 13 for 23, 140 yards, and a touchdown, no interceptions. An okay game. And then on the rushing, they had Jerome Ford, 20 carries, 189 yards, 4 touchdowns. So obviously he was the MVP of that game. 4 touchdowns, almost 200 yards and 20 carries. And I'm just going to take a guess that he did pretty good on the receiving end too. Okay, he had 1 reception, 23 yards, but that's still good. They also had a couple other running backs. They had Ryan Montgomery, 8 carries, 95 yards. So 2 running backs that get, almost 2, that get over 100 rushing yards. Then Charles McClelland, 5 carries, 20 yards. That's it. And then they had 2 other people who carried the ball. Ethan Wright, Evan Prater. They both had Evan Prater had 1 carry. Ethan Wright had 4. They both got a touchdown. Then on the receiving end, the best receiver for the Bearcats was Leonard Taylor, 4 receptions, 47 yards. Cool. And they had Alex Pierce. He went 1 reception, 19 yards. He's the only TD, it looks like. Yeah. Quickly, I'm going to go over UCF. I'm seeing on my time that I'm kind of taking a lot longer than I thought I would because I've been stretching this out a little bit. Mikey Keene for UCF, the quarterback, 16 for 27, 141 yards, a touchdown. He did have 2 interceptions, though, so not a very good game. And then on the rushing end, they got 2 rushing touchdowns. I'm not going to go into the analytics there. And the lone receiving touchdown for them was from Brandon Johnson, who went 1 reception, 16 yards. The next college, Oklahoma. So they're number 3, and they're 7-0. Let me see. I might, based on how long I take, I don't know if I will stretch it down to, well, this will be the last one, depending on how I go with this. I will see how many more I include, because I kind of want to round this out. But we have Oklahoma. Okay, so they had Caleb Williams as the quarterback. Spencer Rattler. I don't know what happened, but I've heard lots of stuff saying he was benched. I know he's good. I'm assuming he's really good because I've seen someone. I remember seeing him in a Netflix show, QB1. So he did not play. Caleb Williams, 18 for 23, 295 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 96.5 QB rating. That's good. Rushing, they had Kennedy Brooks, 20 carries, 153 yards, 1 touchdown. They also had 2 more running backs who both got a touchdown each. On the receiving end, they had Jaden Hasselwood, got 6 receptions, 56 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So obviously the biggest receiver threat in that game. And also Jeremiah Hall, 1 reception, 17 yards. He got a touchdown. I'm not going over all of the guys who got catches. Obviously, there's like 10 or something of them. I'm just going over the guys who scored. And then we have for TCU, Max Duggan was their quarterback, 20 for 30, 346 yards, so really good. Oh, wow, he did awesome. 4 touchdowns, 91.6 quarterback rating, so he obviously did very good. And on the running back side, no running backs. I mean, I can't tell if these are also receivers running the ball, but no rushing touchdowns. They did have Kendre Miller, 15 carries, 55 yards. Amari Demercado, I want to say, 7 carries, 57 yards. So, okay. And then receiving, Quinton Johnston, 7 receptions, 185 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kendre Miller, 4 receptions, 56 yards, a touchdown. So Oklahoma wins that 52-31. They go up 7-0. TCU 3-3. They're unranked. And I'm just going to try to squeeze it in. I don't care. I'm going to go with Alabama and Ohio State just really quick. Try to go through that. I know Alabama played Mississippi State, if I'm assuming. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Yes. Okay, so they beat Mississippi State, who is unranked, 49-9. Alabama is now 6-1. Mississippi State is 3-3. We have for Alabama, their quarterback Bryce Young went 20 for 28, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Good game. And on the rushing side, they had 2 running backs go over 10 carries. Roydell Williams, 11 carries, 78 yards. Brian Robinson Jr., 19 carries, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. Respectable. And then receiving, they had 4 receiving touchdowns. I'll just say the names. John Mechie III, Jamison Williams, Trayshawn Holden, and Brian Robinson Jr. So they all got a touchdown each. And they all got 60-plus yards. Lowest out of that for receptions was Jamison Williams had 2 receptions. Mississippi State, I'll just go. Will Rogers, quarterback, 35 for 55, 300 yards, no touchdowns. and 3 interceptions. No, that's horrible. They had no rushing touchdowns, and on the receiving end, obviously no touchdowns. I'm just not going to go over that. Bad game by Mississippi State. Good for Alabama. They definitely needed that. I obviously hate Alabama, but, I mean, for Alabama, this is good. They are still at 4th, but that's good for a comeback. They just need to hope those top 3 teams, Georgia, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, can at some point fall off, which I don't think they will. I think Georgia stays in number 1 the whole year. And Ohio State, we are going to finish with them. I know I'm going top 5. I'm not including my very own UCLA, which is kind of sad for me, but it obviously doesn't really matter. No one really cares about UCLA besides me, so why bother to look? I cannot find. Oh, I guess, based on what I'm looking at, Ohio State didn't play this week. So, that's an excuse to go with the UCLA game. So, I'm going to pull that up really quick just to make up for that loss of, I did not know that. I guess I should have checked that first, but Ohio, it looks like they did not play this week because it says they're still 5-1, which, yeah. Okay, so UCLA schedule. So right now we're 5-2, and we beat Hawaii, we beat LSU, we lost to Fresno State. We should have won that. We beat Stanford, lost to Arizona State, then beat Arizona, and we just beat Washington. That was yesterday. We won 24-17. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, our quarterback, went 21 for 26, 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. Our leading running back was Zach. I always forget how to say this. I think it's Charbonnet. I'm pretty sure. He had 21 carries, 131 yards. And our leading receiver, according to ESPN, was Coda, who got 3 receptions, 60 yards. For the Washington Huskies, who are now 2-4, Morris he went 20 for 30, 184 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. That's their QB. Leading rusher had 9 carries, 80 yards. Pleasant, I don't know his first name because I'm just looking at the little sidebar, not at the box score. And Oduns, I want to say, Washington running back, receiver. 4 receptions, 58 yards, a touchdown. So UCLA, we needed that. We really needed that if we want to try to get ranked again. We're 5-2. Huskies go down to 2-4. So that's it for today. This video is going to be really long. No, most of you probably won't watch this far unless you just skip around in the video. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. I know I don't know a lot. I mispronounced a lot of the names. I'm trying to get into college football. I'm really an NFL guy, but I want to get into it. So, I'm going to start making videos like this probably weekly about the NCAA. Probably none as long as this one. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Peace.